Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Just a reminder that those courses down in the description are on sale, and it is a great time to join the Patreon. The Patreon is putting out, well, you know, the Patreon's me, and I'm putting out these new monthly updated expected moves for all the stocks that we like to cover on this channel and some more. So we'll be paying attention to that. That's going to be a key thing that is going to really help you out every single month, as it has helped us with the SPY now multiple times, which is fantastic. So we'll pay attention to the fact that, hey, the SPY is making an upward move. We have some daily expected moves, 594.18 to the upside. We got 582.26 to the downside for the SPY. Pretty decent size daily range here for the last day of the month. And the ultimate signal that we're looking for is that 2 hour to confirm up into positive territory. Now, that wouldn't be necessarily the best divergence, but it would actually insinuate something just as good, which is a higher low. So that's what we're mainly paying attention to. Why are we paying attention to this? Because we're looking for that next daily trend up, and this is a good signal for that to take place. Doesn't mean it has to keep going, right? It can always fail, and that's why we manage risk. Managing risk is going to be very important over the next, actually managing risk for the last, I would say even 6 months have been very important, but we've gotten some great trade setups. Happy New Year, brother man. Happy New Year, Polar Bear man. I appreciate you guys coming in today. Welcome in Bernie, Marshall, Mark, Robert coming in. That one dude, Chris, Brian, Daniel. Thank you guys for showing up this morning. And Jay Valentine, happy New Year's Eve. Glad I found your channel back in April. Hey, I'm just trying to be helpful. I understand that sometimes we talk about both directions and it's hard for people to understand. Yeah, we're talking about both directions because we know it can go in either way. That's something that can really help us. But if that has helped you, I do appreciate you being a part of this channel, because you have been someone that's been liking those videos, and we were able to get to 10K. I mean, this channel's only been around since August of 2023. So obviously we are doing something that can really help people out if you really take the time to understand it and not just try to make money really fast, right? It takes a lot of practice, it takes some knowledge, but it takes mainly just paying attention to signals, and I would say discipline and patience can really help you out in this market. Because if I didn't want to deal with any of this nonsense, right, and this is why I'm talking about it, if I didn't want to deal with any of this nonsense, I could just not do a 30-minute. I could look at a 2 hour, see that thing cross up and be like, all right, the daily's really likely to go in the upward direction. So that's pretty good. But happy Friday. Thank you so much for the Happy New Year's. Jay Valentine, thanks for joining us today. And Robert, thank you so much for coming in today. Slow grind up after a pullback always happens the day before a holiday. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll find out what's going to go on with this. I think after the holiday, we will see some interesting things. I believe it is the Santa rally likes to go for 2 to 4 days, even after the new year sometimes. So we'll see if that is actually going to start now, and maybe it's just a little bit late. We'll have to find out. But this is good basing out structure. You can't lie about it. And if you go look at the Qs, you're going, okay, I'm looking at this 30-minute. If that crosses back down, hey, we might make a brief little divergence. If it doesn't, okay, well, and also something that you need to pay attention to for today, something that can really help us out. Look where that daily expected move is, and look at our MACD. It's still already close to crossing, but where is it? It's in negative territory. So even this uptrend, I would still be aware that that 30-minute can cross down. That 30-minute crossing down will be a big deal if it happens. Now, we want to see if this is a strong enough push to hold a 2 hour cross up. We can easily see we could make structure to go up, right, left, head, right shoulder for the Qs. We see that if this wanted to, it could fake people out in the morning, fail, come down, and then create that reversal signal down here. That would get this by the center line and allow you to be a little bit more wavy, and then that divergence could be by the center line. Those are just a couple of things that I would be paying attention to. But overall, in these areas, I've started to slowly accumulate a lot from IWM. I think IWM's been holding pretty well. The signal that I'm looking for to really solidify this position is the hourly to fully cross up into positive territory. I think I'm taking a longer out option. I'm pretty confident in it. And so I'm just looking if that can go up today. If this would cross up, it would suggest, hey, positivity is there. Then I just have to manage my risk on a 30-minute in case we go down for another dip. But I just really like this look. We're going to get updated monthly expected moves, and I'm seeing a great base. So let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that with the SPY. Okay, so this is the signal we're looking at right now, right? Now, when we do update those monthly expected moves, right, make sure you're tuning into the video. I'm going to put it out tomorrow morning, so you can look at it anytime throughout your day on New Year's Day. But what I want to pay attention to is, let's just do this real quick and just clone this for a moment. Okay, let's just clone this and say that our monthly expected move is here. And I'm seeing a great base form right here, right? I have a great base. Well, then what would be the most likely thing to happen in the month of January for the SPY? Well, if I'm making a good 2-hour base here and I'm going to see a daily curl up, where do you think we're going to head to by some point in the month, right? It doesn't have to be a straight line. A lot of the time you're not going to see it in a straight line, but we can see this type of price get hit throughout the month of January, and you know that because you made a strong base before the month is over. And if you're able to confirm that as a strong base, hey, where are you most likely to head to? The top side monthly expected move. You just made a strong base to head up, so wouldn't it make more sense to target the upside move? So that's why we're paying attention so closely if these things are confirming, because when it happens like this at the end of the month, you have so much power going into the next month, especially with a monthly expected move. So if you have those monthly expected moves, that's why we're really encouraging Patreon. We always do this at the end of the month, guys, right? We always try to encourage Patreon because you get the most value out of it, and we're going to give out annual expected moves. But this really would tell me if I have a strong base here right at the end of this month and I'm going to get an updated move. This is just a fake one right now, but when I get that updated move, where are we likely to go to if all of this starts to play out? That topside monthly move, and it can be that simple sometimes. So I hope someone was able to take something away from that little portion there. And there's just a lot on the chart, but if you really know what's going on, the reason we have a lot on the chart is just because this zone here happens to be where our weekly and monthly are. Now, the reason that that is a good thing, you actually should like the fact that there's a bunch of drawings right here in this area, because this means more and more support. The more lines across and the zones that I have in the same area, the better the support. All right. You only need a 20 and a 200 simple moving average. Everything else confuses the situation. Just me. Hey, no, I get that. And we do try to keep it simple here. Weirdly enough, there's a ton of drawings. There are a ton of drawings. I get it. But if you're paying attention to the key things, then you know there's really only 3 to 5 things that we really need here. There's 3 to 5 things that we need here. It's just there's a lot of drawings, because if you look at my charts, by the way, I don't tend to draw zones too often, and I don't draw daily expected moves. I don't use those pretty much like ever for my trading. So that's something different, but people on YouTube do like to get those daily moves. I like to help out retail traders who are still deciding to possibly even day trade or go 0 DTE. And I don't encourage that, but hey, if I can help out people by putting up some red lines, I think that's fantastic. Now for FFIE, that trade's going pretty good. Coming back below 389, if you didn't know, in the pre-market, we actually broke $5. So fantastic there. But this is how I'm reading into FFIE. If you want to take it into consideration, here you go. All right. FFIE, what happened the last time that FFIE saw something crazy way over here? A 30-minute crossed up, we got about a 32% gain, and then we got about a 100% gain, and then we went off to the races, like even further. So what did we get here? We got a 32% gain, another like 50% gain, and then are we going to see a 100% gain at some point to really get off to the races? That's one. The two thing is, I'm not going to sell this thing until a 30-minute crosses, because if I look back at this and I just see the 30-minute never crossed back down until it was at crazy prices, just like AMC, just like GME, just like my research over there, they crossed up on a 30-minute, they never crossed down. So I can just look at FFIE, know that this was a fun play, know that this is a test for my overall short sale theory, right? The actual volume coming in, are they covering or are they fighting the stock? And that's how I want to look into it. But the main thing I can say is, well, if that 30-minute does not cross down, then why would I sell it right now, right? That's kind of how I'm doing it. And I'm just doing that with some logical thinking of the last time the 30-minute turned up and it never turned back down. So this time the 30 minutes turned up, and has it turned down? No. So I've been in the play since what, 129 or something like that. So it's great. That's what I would say about that. Now, this was a 2-hour, but you can see the 30-minute. I'll show you the 30-minute because we were on a 2-hour. But look at the 30-minute here on the MACD. You just see all green. One moment where you almost cross right at the beginning. But other than that, nothing. Never crossed. So even though it almost crossed, it still didn't. And that's the big deal. So that's what I'll be watching here for this MACD, right? We came a little bit close yesterday, right? We were starting to get towards it, starting to curl over towards it, and then we see the reaction up. So if that doesn't cross, I can hold on to it. That's all I'm going to do for FFI. Like, really, that's all I have to do. I know, it's pretty crazy, but it can be that simple sometimes, right? Who brought up FFIE yesterday or the day before? Willow's been talking about FFIE a little bit for I would say the last like week. And then me and you, once that short sale theory started to trigger, I started to talk about it with you. I don't really want to pay too much attention to support, resistance, and make this a stressful thing, guys. You're going to benefit a lot more from not trying to find support. I mean, if you're already in the play, if you're not in the play yet, I get it. Like, you're trying to find your opportunity. I would just say your last opportunity was down here, right? And if it gives you another opportunity, just know if that 30-minute crosses, the last time it crossed after seeing a major upward move, it went all the way back down. So you don't necessarily want that to cross. At least I don't. I'm like, yeah, just keep going forever. Morning and happy New Year's. So as far as support goes, I just look at the whole numbers and I look at the 50 cents. I would look at $3.50, $3, $4, $4.50, $5. Because this morning you went and tagged $5 and saw resistance. All right, and now what are you doing? Well, you're potentially trying to hold up at around $4 and you're losing that right now. So maybe you pay attention to $3.50. 50% this morning. Hey, we like to see that. I am currently up 2,000% and chilling. I am up, whoa, nope, it just broke 2,000 again. So 2,057%. But remember, that is not like I put $1,000 behind it, guys. I'm not like getting rich. That is to test my theory. I find that testing theories is a lot better. Testing potential trade setups is a lot better if you're doing a test with real money. Does that mean I put a bunch of money? No, it was 20 to 50 bucks. I think it was literally $30. No, trust me, I wish I could show off and say that had $2,000 behind it, $5,000 behind it, and be like, all right, I'm gonna walk away with with a shitload of money. Dollar chart, very good thing to bring up right now because we are at risk of doing something that can cause some more selling to come in, which I believe is the dollar actually scaling up here. Look at that 4-hour chart. That looks like it could turn up. What you want to pay attention to today's a big day for the dollar. I would keep this on your radar. If the dollar does not fall at all, then you would be getting a confirmation on the monthly saying the dollar is about to scale up, which is the trigger for these red lines, which would mean that could coincide with a market top over the next month. That's why I'm really worried about January. This is one of the signals that I'm paying attention to. The daily here does have divergence, so we were looking for the dollar to drop off, but look how it is held sideways, so a 4-hour move higher can take place. It doesn't mean we can't head higher and see this still drop off. It just means, hey, now we've triggered that monthly, so it's even more likely that we're just going to see this thing whip back up eventually. Time to bet everything on NVIDIA again. Yeah, well, we're just paying attention to, right? Wasn't it just, hey, does the 2-hour turn up? Right? This looks pretty flaggy. Does an hourly or does a 2-hour turn up, right? Once we get to where it's like this, sometimes an hourly can clean it up. You're going to see an hourly probably a little bit negative, I would assume. I haven't looked at an hourly for this. Yeah, so curling over by the center line. So this is where you want to be worried, right? This is where you want to be like, okay, this can go to negative territory. And the last time we did that, it was kind of bad. And when we curl over in negative territory, it got worse. So if we can go negative here, you might see a push down. But if we really look at the 30-minute, which we like a lot more, we've noticed that this has been holding up pretty well. Right here, right, 135. So if we can go for another test of that, okay, curl up, curl back, or curl down, curl back up into positive territory. Mainly though, what are we looking for? The 2-hour to cross up, right? Maybe the hourly to cross back up. If we look at this too, you can almost say like it's going to be a slanted head and shoulders in some way, maybe just extremely slanted. So that's kind of probably not the best thing to put out there, but mainly it's just, hey, this is crossing over on the 30-minute right by the center line. So that means negativity. If that turns back around, that would mean positivity, and then that 2-hour can maybe confirm up. There we go. We'll find out as we go on throughout the day here. Where is the chart? There we go. So I think now for FFIE, just by the way, I think you're looking for, hey, can it break 4? Can it break 5? Can it break 6? And that's going to be the trend there. It's not called the Chickadixie for no reason. Yeah, you're right. It's a little bit tricky there, but it's still good. Magnitude of MACD matter. If it's above 0, it's better. If it's less than 20, then 0.2. The only time I really pay attention to like the positioning or like when the MACD is at the certain readings would be like on a 30-minute chart. And I can make those hard stipulations. It just depends on your strategy too. I mean, if you're using something like mine, you can go with like a risk standpoint, right? If I say, okay, I want to manage, if this is a 2-hour trade and the 2-hour crosses up, I want to manage anything that is crossing down, right? Any MACD that crosses down, maybe below, say, I'm going to do it differently this time, say 0.75. Oh, god dang it. I know what happened and I'm not happy about it. This has to be 0.75. There we go. So then you would say this, okay, now that I've put that into my strategy, I could say, okay, so if this 2-hour crosses up, great, awesome, I'm in the play. If this is going like this, and this MACD goes like this, and then it crosses back down through that line, I could say that's my risk off line kind of thing, right? Like I'm not going to take any risk, right? I'm going to manage the trade at this point because we are very likely to see that go a little bit deeper maybe, right? That is something that can be risky. Now you could say if it crosses anywhere above here and then crosses back up, right? You want to make that line for how high up that MACD can go. That's something you can do. I don't do that. I treat it more like, I think it's more fun. I know this is weird, but I think it's more fun to do it as a gut feeling. Like just like, okay, how close is that to the center line? Okay, how comfortable am I with the trade? Let me look at the price action. How comfortable am I at that point? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm doing it for the most part. That's how I like to do things. And sometimes it just convinces me, hey, take profit, right? And then I take profit and I'm like, hey, my risk is out. I think FFIE has a chance to hit $100 again. If the 30-minute remains curled up into positive territory for the next 3 days, then yes. Chipotle looks tasty. I got a Chipotle gift card, and I never eat Chipotle. My mom buys me a Chipotle gift card every single year for Christmas, and I don't eat Chipotle. Not often. I like it. I'm fine with Chipotle. It's just still... Oh, we're talking about the stock. My bad. Chipotle, not bad. I want to see the 2, yeah, look at the 2-hour. Again, 2-hour can lead to a daily cross up. Let's see the daily. Daily's by the center line. So this is simple. Actually, Chipotle looks pretty good. If the 2-hour can confirm and get a good bar above the 5 here, that would be great. And then you kind of see how this thing wants to head up, right? It probably wants to use this level in here at some point, do something like this. That would be fantastic. But this is just trying to get in the swing trade before the swing trade. That's pretty much how I see it, right? This is a swing trade on the daily. We don't have reversal signals at the top, so this can easily just go, okay, 2-hour divergence here, that's a base, curl up into positive territory for a long time. Right, we can see that for a long time. So I actually think you're correct in pointing out Chipotle. Nice find there, Jari. Jari. Happy New Year, could you please take a look at Kava? Yeah, we can go look at Kava. Kava has a similar standpoint here. I mean, the 2-hour going for the triple dip. So the problem with these dips, why they're not playing out, why are these divergences not playing out? Who can see it? Can someone see it? Can someone see why these divergences are not the best? Nazim, maybe you could answer. Why do you think these divergences aren't the best right now? Exactly, perfect answer, nice and simple. It's not on the RSI at the same time. I am telling you guys from experience, and this is why we say it in the course a million times, when they are at the same time, they are way more likely to play out. Way more likely to play out. But like, and bringing up that it's deep is fine, but you're seeing the MACD start to get higher, look like it wants to go positive, but the problem is this is not getting higher and higher, trying to cross that center line with the divergence, right? These are simple things that we go over in the course very thoroughly. But notice it just isn't there. So on your MACD, it looks beautiful, but on your RSI, it looks like trash. It looks like the opposite. So that's a big problem. You can still see an upside move, but it does mean that this can like snap up and snap back down to fail. You want to be seeing them at the same time. But it would suggest this. That means the first divergence doesn't have it, it's going to be complicated. The second divergence doesn't happen, but it's closer to the center line. So there is a chance here, right? There is a chance here that now that you're by the center line, the MACD can do all the work, but it's just saying, hey, we might need to make some brief little divergence, some brief little something in here to actually make it so it's at the same time. So you just have to be aware of that at all times, but you would still say this is a great divergence for the MACD. But since it wasn't on the RSI, notice you're getting a triple dip, and you could get a fourth one and even a fifth one if you never make that divergence. So this is one that's a little bit, we just looked at Chipotle. It's like that was showing very clean. This one's only showing clean on one indicator. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you answered it right away. Look, Nazim, you're just looking for someone to ask the question, right? But you knew the answer to the question. So just know that your thinking is correct on that. And if you wanted to take the play that's just on the MACD, you need to understand, I took a play that's only on the MACD, so I need to be managing that trade very closely. As far as Oxy goes, I still don't mind the Oxy play. I really don't. But I think it's more if you're looking at this because of Warren Buffett. We talked about this yesterday. You got to be paying attention to the fact that he's a long-term holder, right? He's a long-term holder. And most likely these stocks, right, we'll see what happens in January of 2025. I don't know if a lot of things will be safe, right? I don't think those things will be safe. I mean, look at it during COVID time, still went down. So I would just be paying attention to the fact that if this weekly turns up, you can see positivity, but look for weakness at any point and just understand if you like the price here, that's how Warren Buffett does things. I'm not seeing big weekly reversal signals. I'm seeing daily signals that keep getting extended and not necessarily playing out, which just means we can see an upward move at any time, and maybe something that I would rather see here in order to take like an actual options trade is maybe I want to see this MACD go positive. Show me that strength first, back off, and then see that next upward move, and then I can make a decision way over here. So I don't need to mess with any of that. What that would do is allow you to get to a key level and actually set up some good structure, right? So that's just something, I'm just going over a way to do it with a little bit less risk. Just being patient is going to take a lot of time. Can you look at XLV or UNH? Yeah, we can look at UNH for sure because people have been asking about that. But thank you so much for the $5, Justin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're pretty similar. Okay, good. Well, what we're paying attention to is look at the daily. Daily's trying to cross up. Did we have any 2-hour reversals? Not really, right? So the fact that you're crossing up with no reversal signals, and look at this move, very lackluster in some way, I would be very open to, if this 2-hour crosses down, looking for the double dip. Now, this would be awesome because everyone would get bearish on it, and maybe that's justified, and maybe this is going to fall through the floor. So I'm not saying make a decision while this MACD's crossed down, but if this MACD crosses up by that center line, what do you see? I see opportunity that can then go into that positive trend and actually get strength back on that daily chart. That's how I see it, and I think it's pretty simple. And yeah, if any kind of earnings are ever coming up, guys, just make sure to notify me. But overall, just remember, earnings is the 50-50 flip. The indices are pretty simple here, and most of these are going to be, is an hourly turning up or is a 2-hour turning up. That's how I'm going to treat this going forward. But remember that the hourly needs to turn up above the 9 with a positive bar. Then after that, is your work done? No, you need to get above that 5, and then you can feel a little bit more comfortable. And then from there, we can say, okay, is the 2-hour going positive? Is the daily crossing up? That's what we're ultimately looking for, is a daily uptrend, and you're going to get new monthly expected moves. So if that monthly expected move is up here at the breakdown area, right? What if we make a snap move up to there in January, right? Well, this would be the base that calls that out. That's why we're really paying attention to it. This is why, having because we don't give IWM away on YouTube for free. We just do this by the Qs. So join the Patreon because it will really help you. Even if you're just going to try it out for a month, it's $7. $7, try it out. If you like it, cool. If you don't, you can, take off from it, and that's fine. No hard feelings. I get it. I want you to be dedicating your money to things that are very helpful. Emailing is usually better. With the holidays, I've been super busy all the time. Usually don't even have a couple of minutes, but I would say, let's see, tomorrow, I'm actually genuinely tomorrow trying to take an off day, you guys. I work every single day, hours and hours a day, every single day. And my wife's telling me, she's like, look, you have to take an off day. And I'm like, okay, the best I can give you is I'll make a YouTube video in the morning and then I'll chill. And she's like, okay. So, maybe in the morning tomorrow, I'll try to look through some emails. So send me an email now and I'll look at it in the morning, or maybe sometime today if I have time throughout my day. Scared for my calls when we go up. Well, don't be, see, that's the thing. If we're managing our risk, right? If you really feel in control of the trade, do you have a way to get out of the trade if things start to go wrong? That's what we like to do on this channel, right? We don't like to just say, hey, the 2 hours crossing up or rejecting here, so positivity. No, we're going to be watching this 30 minutes still, right? We're still watching this 30 minute as we're below the 5. And if we reject and we have calls here, that would say, okay, dang it. I would say, okay, we need to get out of those calls, right? That's what that is telling us for the time being. It's saying, hey, you might want to manage risk. If you want to hold on to it in case you just want to position, in case this is just going like that for a second, okay, awesome. But if this crosses over, I'm going to say bye-bye to Tina. And then if it curls back up, I'm going to say, hello, Tina, welcome back. Tina is the ETF. Eggs are insane. I'm a conspiracy theorist with that kind of stuff, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I think everything's kind of planned in some ways, but happens every year though. A lot of 680 calls, 3101, lost 30% of value for now, open 6020. Well, I know that the important level is right above us, is genuinely right above us. If we can get through this little block in here, I'm pretty confident that we're pretty bullish again. You can really see that block. I mean, I'm assuming that if I went and looked at orders, I would probably find something there. Maybe I'll do that real quick. And I gotta do my coffee chug moment here. Let's see for the 605, so 6055 looks key, 6000 key again for the week, or for the day. For now, 6000 I would say is the line that we still need to get past. I would say a little bit before that, but let me look at the SPY, see if it coincides. Yeah, you get through 595, I think you're pretty set to test 6000 or 600. Yeah, 600 and 595 are the two levels to be watching. So that's this guy. To the upside, breakthrough 595. Hey, look what happens to be at 595 or right below it, a daily expected move. So once again, daily expected move lining up with a key level just above it, so we can get past that and then reject. We'll see what happens. I still would like us to do this. This would be great. You guys, I would invite this very, very happily invite that. Very, very happily. How's my boy FFIE doing? Oh, dang it. Hasn't crossed down yet, so I'm chilling. But we would like to see that thing go up. All right, let me get my chart up here. Lucy! Let's go over the memers real quick. Fardis, if you want to look at something, yeah, I'll check that out in a moment here. Once again, for this guy, remember the signal here is the 2 hour getting a strong bar here. And I think you need to see a strong one. I want to see one like this. I'm not even going to lie. I want to see a long one. I want to see one that goes bam like that through the roof a little bit. That way we're like, hey, that is a strong confirmation. Then the daily can maybe get going here. We have daily divergence down on the RSI, and you're kind of coming flat now, but a little bit up there for the MACD as well. So not too bad. Egg McMuffin, $10. Yeah, I don't eat that. Man, I ate a couple of burger joints and I was like, nope. I haven't gone to a burger place, like a fast food burger, unless it's Freddy's in a long time, because Freddy's is like good and I can get it for cheaper than going to McDonald's or something. Let's talk about US oil, USO. See that weekly cross? So this is where that hold is going to probably pay out here. I just thought there were better opportunities for me, but this is a pretty, you know, oil is pretty safe to trade back and forth. Oil moves pretty well. You can really look for like topping and yields and stuff like that. Obviously, if they're not fighting inflation with higher yields, the yields are coming down. That allows inflation to grow in certain commodities, but USO. How many short seller theory plays? This is only my second one. I'm doing it very slowly because these are kind of crazy moves, right? Doing it very slowly. But so far, we're 2 for 2. So far, we're 2 for 2. The first one was Wolf. Wolf's wasn't this over here? Wolf's triggered in here. Bam, up to here. Awesome. I actually took profit on that pretty quick. We hit a weekly expected move. The reason I took profit there was the divergence on the 30 minutes showing up. See that divergence there? That said, okay, I'm taking profit. All right, so this was the first one. Caught a move that was about, what is that? I think I actually got it down in here and I held it for a longer period of time, but 8 to 17, so a little bit of a double maybe. Somewhere around $8 to $9 is where I got that. Pretty solid. Now that one gave me a reversal signal, so what did I do? I still reacted. So notice how I played this. Did I sit there and go, oh yeah, this is gonna rocket through the ceiling and always go up? Or did I sell it when I saw something bad? I sold it when I saw something bad, and guess what? I made a weekly expected move this time as well, and that's why I sold the position. Now we have FFIE, that's going up and up and up, and I looked at how this thing likes to behave, and if the 30-minute never crosses down, I never have to do anything, right? If this 30-minute just keeps going, it can get a reading of like 25 on this 30-minute MACD, and I'll be like, okay, cool, now it's at $100. So, pretty dope. Now, I think you wanted to look at, Fardis was nice, wanted to look over at Lucy real quick, so Fardis being nice over there, so we'll look at it. I don't like the 2 hour right away. Right away, this is not a strong base in any way. You can see we're kind of just, that waterfall starting, right? We're trickling off, now we're starting to go down. So I don't like that look. I would really like to see a stronger base here, and now you more so want to just be paying attention to the bigger time frames. Right, this one is going to be very skeptical at this point. Maybe you had some kind of ABC in here in some way. This could be where the bleeding stops, but it's just very hard to tell because there's no strong base here. I wish I could be more helpful with it. I would just be like, okay, if the daily crosses up, what could I probably get as we're at bottom Bollinger? If the daily crosses up, we can go test the 20. We could maybe even go retest the 200. And then if you're able to build back over time, this is how you would do it. Use that little bit in there to get back above the 200. Let's go check on Dixie, still going to the upside. And don't sleep on volatility either. Don't think that this can't turn up because it is turning up right now. All right, volatility is turning up here. So we might be going, ooh, but we're not really breaking down. So could just mean volatility is higher. How's BlackBerry? BBs. I love this, love this, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so that's pretty extended. You have 30-minute divergence there. So what does that tell me immediately? Most likely we were going to get a 2 hour crossover right here, right in this area. So we've probably gotten that 2 hour to cross. Looks like it probably has more work to be done. So if it has more work to be done, where's it gonna go? Well, it could test down in these levels. If it breaks through that, then you're probably heading down to 323. But as we're close to the 5, right, that 5-day moving average sitting in there, what does this look like to me? Well, it looks relatively controlled, right? Doesn't that look pretty controlled? And then we go like this, bloop. So something here that will really help is actually an hourly chart. So when it looks like this, and you want to see if it's really close to that center line while you're by the 5, hey, look at an hourly chart. It's really close to the center line, no reversal signals above you. So very likely that if you get a solid green bar like this and you cross up this MACD to test this high, go make a new one. So this says potential for opportunity. If bigger time frames start to roll, you want to be aware of that. But I'm up on both sides of volatility right now. A lot of calls coming in, so it would make sense for them to drop the market a little bit. We'll see if that takes place. We have calls coming in with a rising dollar. That's not a recipe for success just yet. And the 10-year is still dropping off, so very impressive. The dollar and the 10-year are actually doing something a little different for now. Has Microsoft done anything? I like the look of Microsoft. I'm not gonna lie. I think that it looks better than even something like Apple. Apple looks like it can easily come down again because you have no reversal in here. But when you look at something like Microsoft, you actually have some reasons here. Right, we held the divergence on the RSI. What did we do back here? We didn't really have it. We had it very flat, if not a little down. And it got a good reaction, but it was lackluster. Now you have it here, so you actually have it on the RSI, not on the MACD at the same time. So I'm paying attention to two things. One, is this little divergence here going to lead to that 2-hour crossing up? Or are we going to dip back down for a moment? And then I'll have my weekly expected moves to pay attention to, right? But if this 2-hour can cross up, that means, hey, 2-hour uptrend, what's the positioning of the MACD tell us here? Well, the positioning of the MACD tells us we have to be very open to, even if this sees a great move, if it can build up over time, we still, even in these areas, want to be aware that this 2-hour could look a little bit like this and still be in an area where it could cross back down and end up going into negative territory. So we'll pay attention to it throughout. It looks like it's trying to carve out a very choppy base. It's like it's going to look like a risky one for sure. So you want to be managing risk, but overall, you're like, hey, I have the divergence on the RSI, kind of a rejection here for the MACD. If we can do that, that would kind of say, hey, we're starting to see that start to make those little trends up. We're starting to break through some stuff here. I would like the 30-minute curl down. I like my plays to be on the MACD at the same time, like blatantly on the MACD. That's why stuff like this. That's why we were talking about. I think it was Apple. No, maybe it was. I think it was Amazon. Amazon. Yeah, that's why we liked this, right? We liked this, triggered, and boom to the upside. Nice little move from 224 all the way up to 229. Very, very good. And you're seeing a similar thing right here, but notice it's not on the MACD and RSI at the same time, right? It's not on the MACD. So you might need that to dip one more time to give you that base, but it's been reacting well with that little divergence on the RSI, so we can just see if the 2-hour crosses up. Which is funny because the 2-hour is holding the divergence on the RSI. Is Microsoft holding the divergence? No, it's just very, very flat down here. I think you can get a good reaction. Yeah, Microsoft's a little bit, it's like a little tough because you just have it on the RSI. But I would say if this 2-hour confirms up, we probably have a decent trend up for a little bit. That'd be cool. AMC popped up a buy signal on the 2-hour. Let's go check on AMC then. Well, AMC flat for the day right now. 2-hour trying to make it, but remember, I want a strong bar here. You don't want some lackluster cross up. We want a solid, full confirming bar here. A full confirming bar would be the 2-hour is able to close, I would say, above the, in the case of AMC right now, I would say because you're looking for a daily to cross up, I want a green bar like this. I want a green bar like this to confirm. That's how I want it to confirm, because that can give me encouragement like, hey, that can head to the upside. But if we just see this little tiny green bar and that crosses up like this and we're still below the 9, we're still below the 5, I'm not going to be thinking that that thing has a massive move to the upside. Now, because this is lining up, do you guys remember the last time an AMC divergence or a GME 2-hour divergence popped up? What happened? We put out that picture on Patreon, and 45 minutes later, Roaring Kitty tweeted or something like that. So this is why I think that we have a high chance to see some news this week. Wolf was another one that was interesting, by the way, showing a 2-hour reversal signal, just so you're aware. This is one I need to look at the short seller theory for myself. If that ticked up on a tick down, that would be a great signal. Okay, yes, exactly. Okay, so Wolf has ticked up on the way down, which just tells me either they're fighting the stock or they're selling actually short positions. So either way, this one is triggering my short seller theory yesterday. So this is another one I might try. But remember, you know, just because it went 2 for 2 it never means you have a perfect strategy, guys. You're always going to find the time where you lose. I am not doing a ton of money behind these things. I'm keeping it to $20 to $50 because the risk here is this could easily just fail immediately. But we have a reversal signal, and I have my short seller theory over on my other screen that adds triggered as of yesterday. So this is telling me this is another one I have to test out. So what I like to do is I like to see if that signal will complete first, and then I make the decision. So once that completes, if we can see a 2-hour move like this, I can make a decision as far as Wolf goes. Very nice. Hey, FFIE heading to the upside there. That's nice. Yeah, just testing the theory. I can't put a bunch of money behind it before I test the theory, like at least, I would say like 5 to 10 times. I know I shouldn't talk about it, Willow. With the leverage ETF MSTX, down when MSTR is up. Why is that happening? MSTX dramatically down. MSTR. That's a long one. Oh, yeah. Well, one, MSTR is not up today. MSTR is not up. So that's... so yeah. So a 3 times leverage ETF is going to go negative more if it's days in a row. Yeah, right? You understand that about those 3 times... Hopefully everyone understands that about 3 times leverage. Or 2 times leverage, whatever it is. Like, if you look at something that's leveraged, if it drops for multiple days in a row, you are going to see the leveraged ETF drop more than the stock. Oh, god dang it. There we go. So most likely this will be down maybe even more than double, because it probably has decay in it. Let's take the top of the bar to here. Let's take the low here for 43%. And we take the top of the bar roughly there. Okay, so a little less than half actually, but yeah. The reason it's going down more is because it's 2 back-to-back days, right? So it has to see, these have to see positivity for like multiple days in a row, right? That's just how these leveraged ones work. And you have to understand if they have decay. I haven't looked into that one. I don't know if they have decay. Yeah, that's strange. That's strange, but it's probably something to do with the ETF. It could be just it could be an options thing. Dividends and rebalance. I feel like it could be an options thing as well, because I'm sure options on that MSTX are kind of wild. Yeah, I'd have to probably look into that a little further. But my goodness, MSTR. MSTR, weirdly enough, has a 2-hour divergence, by the way, just so you're aware. And we've been talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, remember we were looking at that 4-hour and I was showing how that's the line in the sand, but the 4-hour looks like, hey, it can cross up and you have a pretty strong base here now. So what do I think? I think Bitcoin's probably about to curl up this daily MACD and about to see an uptrend for a bit. As long as we're holding this line right here and those divergences stay intact, we can cross up that MACD. Now you're looking like you're going to take out that high, go make a new one. Wonder if 129 will get hit. Paid a random $14 dividend. That's why the stock is down. Okay, so that makes some sense. So sorry about that, Harold. I guess I didn't know enough about it right now. But it looks like someone is stating, maybe look up the dividend that was paid, Harold. Bitcoin held 92, which was major support. Yeah, we just have a line that's similar to 92, right? 91.8, but we just like the 4-hour divergence, right? We like to see these type of dying out in momentum. Now we can be pretty confident with a swing trade to the upside if the daily crosses, right? This hasn't gone positive yet, but if that daily crosses, this would be the signal that, hey, this has a strong base. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Harold, and thank you guys in the chat for helping us out with that one. And Harold says, thank you. That's a rough one. I wish you luck in the trade. That's what I would say for you, because oof, I can get a little rough sometimes. MSTR, I'm not a fan. You guys already know that. Okay, so NVIDIA really dropping off. So what were we really looking for NVIDIA? According to last night's video, well, we're looking for, can that really 2-hour confirm up, or are we going to see the 30-minute curl down and try to retest some levels, maybe even pop up a little divergence down here? So it looks like right now, what should we be leaning towards? Well, if we're reacting, then we saw 30 minutes ago that the 30-minute crossed over really close to the center line. So most likely that selling is going to continue, and we're going to go for possibly another test of 135. Right, 135 is our good line right now. We want to see if that curls down, see if this 30-minute curls back up by the end of the day. That would be a good indication that the 2 hour is going to go to the upside, Aaron. But that's just what the indicators are saying. If this curls down, never curls back up, it can just keep going. That's why we're pointing out this stuff up in here, right? When you get that move down and then you kind of reject the move up and you turn back down, it's not a good sign, right? We get the move down, we turn back up and reject. That's not a good sign. That can keep going. But if it does that, if it does this and crosses up right here, that's when you know, okay, momentum shifting to the upside. It looks risky, but the probable thing is we're going to try to curl up that 2 hour. Here's Solway, my favorite to go to. Shocks, also like Figuring Out Money. Yeah, Figuring Out Money is one of my favorites. Yeah, Figuring Out Money is who I'll point out a few times. I'll watch his video like once a month if like it really catches my eye, because he's got some access to great data, which I love to see. So I actually watched part of his thing this morning. I usually just watch the data stuff because I'm not a day trader, so I'll just watch his data that he shows off, which is very nice. And then I can go check it myself if I want to, but he's great. I would love to team up with those guys if they ever do a live video or something. You know, I know I'm more basic compared to him probably, but I know that we both use weekly expected moves and things like that. He was one of the first people that just showed weekly expected moves, and that's what started my research of how can I make these type of moves and stuff like that, and then how do I build a strategy around it. And he's a day trader, so I couldn't really use him to build a strategy, so I built it myself. But we do calculate moves differently. I noticed that. Me and him, we calculate moves differently. I don't know if he just uses Thinkorswim or something, but I think he does his own calculations, but I'm not 100% sure because ours are pretty different. TLT, mainly just looking for the fact that, one, last week was important, right? If we were paying attention to last week, where was the weekly expected move? Right there. So what did we notice at the low? Tapering, divergence, or if you want to call it a higher low, I'll give it to you. But for the most part, curled up really close to the center line into positive territory. 2 hour curls up, 2 hour rejects. Fantastic. Can we get the daily to curl up? That's going to be the big signal. You have daily divergence all the way across. Wham. And so we're paying attention to that. But the main thing we needed to happen was the 10-year needed to cross down on this MACD, and that hasn't fully happened yet. Once that happens, I think it can get a little bit more downside, right? I think this can actually come off pretty dramatically. Maybe to retest the lows. We'll see if it holds up and curls back up. But I think we might head down to 4% again, 4.062. APLD, Garage Insight, bringing up my dad's next favorite stock now. You guys know my dad's a big IonQ guy. Now he's looking at APLD, and I would say this is a great look. This is bear market behavior to a T. This is bear market behavior to a T. Okay, so we're going to break this down so you guys can understand how bear markets like to move, because this is fantastic. Now you have a rejection divergence here, but that's fine. Okay, so what we're looking for here is you have this double dip. Awesome. Okay, what did we get? We get a rejection divergence with a gap up, which is just great. Okay, now you can wait till that goes positive or takes back the 5, and it's still a good play. Notice how that good 30-minute base gives you the good play. Fantastic. Fantastic. Maverick of Wall Street. He's okay sometimes. I barely watch him, to be honest. Now, what does this mean? Well, this is great, but a bear market, you like to have a good to curl up a daily, which I don't know if the daily crossed up. No, it didn't cross up. Okay. To curl up the daily, a lot of the time you want to see a strong 2 hour base, right? These are things we go over in the course as well, but you can see that that 2 hour gave it up. You were aware of the positioning of the MACD, how that never went positive. Very key. It struggled and then it curled down, creating potentially a stronger base right here. So if this 2 hour can confirm up, that would be fantastic. So how can we tell if that 2 hour is going to curl up? What led to it last time? A 30-minute divergence, right? So now I can look and see this 30-minute, and if it briefly goes like this and then turns back up, we can see that divergence play. And this is where I'd really like to have a weekly expected move and things like that, but I don't have it for APLD. But if we do something brief like that, I'm liking the play, and then that's likely to turn up the 2 hour. So right when this thing looks really bearish, which it is a very bearish thing to cross over on the 30-minute here, just so you're aware. This is very bearish. This is very tight. It doesn't have to happen. This could easily just keep going. So we want to make sure we're reacting, not trying to predict that this is going to turn up, but just reacting if it does, right? We don't want to try to get the perfect price. We want to try to get where momentum starts to kick in. How is that, Garage Insight? You like that? I got to clip that and send that to my dad because he needs to hear all that, but he just can't watch this type of stuff. And he's just a holder type of guy. Hey, thank you so much for joining the Patreon, Baby Beast. We did put out a video yesterday on Patreon if you would like to check that out, Baby Beast. It's for Patreon only. And we were just talking about the indices, how these things like to move. Yeah, I would love to have a chat with Figuring Out Money. So if you're ever in his chat, try to shout me out a few times. Maybe I'll go into his chat one day. Looks like FFIE down to 386. Not crossing down on a 30-minute, so I have no decision to be made. Love this market setup. You should love this setup. If you are a trader who really pays attention to signals and really pays attention to how stocks move, you should love how things are looking right now. You should love this. If it's flagging to cross up the 2 hour, you love it. If it curls down and makes a 30-minute divergence, you love it. If it curls down and you manage risk and you take away your risk out of some kind of big drop, you love it. Tina, hourly confirmation. We want to see that on the actual IWM. And actually, that's a pretty positive bar. 0.65, pretty good. I want to see it get above the 5. You notice my 222.60 still holding as resistance right now. I really want to take that back. The 30-minute for NVIDIA is, yes, you are 100% right. This is bearish. This is where it says, I don't want to be taking upside plays as of this bar right here. But what we're talking about is the opportunity that no one will see coming. This is the problem with a lot of people. They see a bearish signal and they go, oh my gosh, that's bearish, that's bearish, that's bearish, that's bearish. During that time that you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is bearish, this is bearish, this is bearish, what could you be thinking instead? You could be thinking of, hey, what happens next? Let me think into the future just a tiny bit here. Well, if this falls through the floor, then I don't necessarily want to be in it right now, right? I don't want to be in calls right now. Do I want to be in puts? This is kind of a 30-minute. It's not really the best thing unless I'm like a day trader scalping, something like that. Like, But what would be a different thing that would really fake people out? Well, if this falls through the floor, I don't want to be in it, but when do I want to be in it? Well, maybe if this would cross back up and really fake people out, and then we see a strong move that takes back the 5. Right? So that's something that I would try to get good at, is not freaking out with whatever's happening now, but more looking at what's happening now, take it in for a second, and then go, what could happen next? That's not predicting, by the way. That's setting yourself up. You're prepared to react. You got to prepare to react. It's very hard to just sit here and not look at the chart at all, and then sit down and be like, oh, the 30-minute crossed up. Okay, what am I supposed to do here, right? You're going to ask yourself that question. I'm just encouraging you to think into the future a tiny, tiny bit. That's why yesterday I was so confused, I think, when someone was like, it's down to here. And now I understand what they're saying, but they were like, you're saying this is a bear trap? And I'm like, yes. He's like, it's a bull trap. It's a bull trap. And I'm like, yes, well, yes, but I'm saying right now you're in a bear trap, right? I'm thinking ahead. I'm saying this is a bear trap now. It can still continue to be a bear trap, but I believe we are forming the bear trap now. And technically the bear trap would be confirmed once you see that upward move. So this can be confirmed as a trap. And then we'll see if we dip down again. If we dip down again, then you would say, hey, this is a trap. But overall on the 2 hour, you'd be saying this entire thing can be a trap setup. Yeah, Just Q. No margin. Settle cash only on trade. Interesting. What the? Small good decision is key. Yeah, that's why, I mean, that's why this was complicated too when I sold up here. This was complicated because I didn't have the SPY, I had the IWM. But my thinking was still good. My thinking was IWM is going to suffer if the SPY is going to suffer, right? IWM is going to pull back if the SPY is going to pull back. And that convinced me to take profit, and thank you for a weekly expected move. We love weekly expected moves. Oh, yeah, Maurice, that's why it's probably going to end like hell. It's probably going to end very, very badly, Maurice. But does it have to end right now? And that's kind of the situation we're in at this moment. It doesn't have to end right now. If this just 30, or if this 2 hour just curls up, if the hourly just curls up, probably see another positive move, honestly. But I would say 2 hour, as the hourly has a blip in it, I would really like the 2 hour, and then your daily can start to go positive. Okay, let me look over here for a moment. I gotta look at a couple of setups here. Okay, Wolf not confirmed. VIX still holding up pretty well. Nope, nope, dropping off. VIX 9-day holding well. All right, let's see if VIX is crossing on a daily, crossing back down. Not yet. We need that volatility to cross back down on the daily. Then we're pretty good for the squeeze. How do you recognize blitz? It's just something that makes it a little bit wonky, right? That's more like, I don't have a definitive term for it. That's another like gut thing just from looking at it. But you could just say, hey, this crossed up, and what didn't happen? We did not test the high, go make a new one. Which is the most probable thing to happen, is to test the high and go make a new one, or just test the high, right? We tested in the highs zone, but we didn't test the exact high. We ended up curling back over after just 2 little curl ups here. So you would call that a rejection, which I sometimes say as a blip, right? Yeah, I'll try to, since I do say blip a lot, I'll try to come out with an actual definition of it soon. That way it's not confusing to you guys. It's just one of my terminology in my head that makes sense to me, and I haven't really defined it. I just go, more so it would lean towards rejections that make the chart look wonky. Already sold losers for harvesting? Well, let's go look. Let's go look, okay? Let's just look. All right, Apple, first off. Yeah, they might get rid of some Apple, right? That is crossing down. They might get rid of some Apple. Tesla, they've already started to get rid of some Tesla if they have it. Amazon, they've already kind of consolidated, started to get rid of that. Okay, NVIDIA, they've already gotten rid of that for a while. Not AMD. Meta, they've gotten rid of that for a little while, right? Microsoft, they've gotten rid of that for a little while. So if you're saying they're going to get rid of it more, it's like, well, something as popular as Microsoft, from the actual peak up here all the way down to the price right now, is down 6.75%. That's not bad, right? Google is one that's sitting at the highs a little bit more in the Apple type situation. But overall, moves sideways, right? Going to the 20, moving sideways. So I'm not convinced that we have to drop lower. I'm open to if we do. I think we are more likely to make a new all-time high trap in 2025 and then see some bad shit happen. It's too late to sell for the end of the year. Depends on if they have to file. It depends on taxes, really, how they want to set themselves up for taxes. I think that was this moment. I'm not gonna lie. I think this moment was where they were rebalancing stocks to potentially make opportunities. That's what I think this was, right? That's what I think. I'm aware that, hey, this could potentially get ugly, right? I'm aware of my risk, but the reward to the upside could be great if this 2 hour just goes like this and then the daily crosses and then we go to a new all-time high. So this is why, yeah, the Patreon, it's gonna be great, guys. Give it a try to start off your year, okay? I highly encourage giving it a try because these monthly moves will really help you, especially if you're trading the stocks that we cover. If you'd like me to go over the stocks that we do put out for the weekly expected moves, we look at them every single day. But right now we give out weekly expected moves for SPY, SPX, Qs, IWM, DIA, TLT, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, Meta, Microsoft, Google, AMC, GME, DJT, SoFi, Palantir, and GLD. So all of those we put out weekly, monthly, and daily expected moves on Fridays. And we're going to give out yearly expected moves for those as well. Now, those haven't been tested, guys, but I think they're fun to have on your chart to see if we get reactions from there. If we have like weekly divergence by an annual expected move or daily divergence by an annual expected move, I think that would be really cool. We're outside of the annual expected move for the Qs right now that I was testing, 492. So you are seeing something crazy right now as far as the year goes. So I would say like, oh, by the end of today, we're going to drop to 492.28. No, that's not going to happen. You're more likely to, with low time, you're going to be mainly just going, okay, we're probably going to end in the 32%. This is pretty good, though. That would be nice. Video we'll keep our eye on. We just want to see anytime this 30-minute crosses up now. That's what we want to be paying attention to. Because overall, here's that line, left. We haven't violated down here. Could be a right shoulder in some way. And then that might be the real big push because that's like a curl up, first curl up into positive territory. So you can see like a big ABC pattern from that. That's what would get the daily going. We just got to see if the work's done there. It's a solid wick. GME got to curl up on the hourly. AMC 2 hour needs a strong bar. I want to see us close at like 410 or something like that. Like a 2 hour closing bar at 410 would be fucking awesome. FFIE dropped on the 30-minute. Let's see. I'm using regular trading hours because that's what my assessment was, and I'm not seeing a drop on the 30-minute yet. I'm not seeing a cross yet. D Anoni. Anoni. However you say it, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for subscribing. LPSN we did look at yesterday, so let's just check on that one real quick. Whoa! Whoa! This is where we're looking for those 30-minute opportunities. Notice the 30-minute never crossed, so that's what can happen for FFIE, right? Bear markets do this all the time where they look like they're going to cross and then they don't. That's why I'm highly encouraging people to understand, like, taking things before they confirm. This is a great time to practice that because bear markets, they can look like they're going to confirm, see a strong move, and then in the last 2 minutes of the bar, you get a big old wick. FFIE tagged the 50% retrace. So that's a big move. Daily looks good. 2 hour looks good. 30-minute looks good. If you're already in the play, you're happy. You're just saying, hey, if that 30-minute crosses, it's not necessarily a good thing, right? We could probably look at the last big upward move, maybe. And this time you held the 5. That's great. Curled up. Another big move. But let's look at a bottom here. When you did cross over on the 30-minute, where did you try to go to? That 20. And then the 5. And then you kept going. So it looks like the 20 and the 5. If you can hold the 5, you look good. Like, look at this. It just held the 5 the whole way. So is this holding the 5 the whole way? You definitely say yes. But that's a great upward move. If I was in down here and I was all the way up to here, right? That is plenty of room there, right? If I was maybe even selling at the highs, 141%, I could probably sell a few contracts and then break even and then just let the rest ride and do whatever. HKD. And then I got to go look at the SPY for a little bit, guys. We got to be paying attention to the market. Again, another one, right? We're just seeing a lot of these pop right now. This is why I think some kind of news with AMC and GME is coming. We're seeing too many of these things pop. Great upward move. 30-minute hasn't crossed down. 30-minute crossed down a lot in these type of moves, but it wasn't as sporadic as that. I want to see if it ever got a big upward move. This one was big. See, you really didn't run into problems. Even with these bars in here, the 30-minute didn't cross down. Now, when the 30-minute crossed down, what ended up happening? It gave up all of it. So you crossed up down here. Awesome, that's $4. You crossed down right here at 526. And then that would say, okay, now we're coming down. So that's the behavior you want to look for right now, in my opinion. You want to see if that 30-minute cross, with regular trading hours, by the way. I'm not doing it with extended hours, but this would suggest if the 30-minute remains curled up, awesome. And then I can find a point where I could break even with a small amount of contracts, maybe sell some. Then I could break even and just be like, okay, my risk is technically out. And now I can just think of how much do I want to make in this overall play. I can take profit as it goes up and everything's good. Oh my goodness. Massive rejection for NVIDIA. Depends on which direction, but for now, the 30-minute is still turned down. All right, we're gonna see these little snapbacks sometimes. Notice there's not just always green bars and always red bars. Where's the... There you go. Now you have always red bars and always green bars. I know, I thought that was kind of crazy, Sid. Isn't that weird? Who's got some tinfoil hat shit for me? Someone crazy out there that's more into the tinfoil than me. Give me some tinfoil hat theory on that. The last time that I'm just saying, I think it's probable. It doesn't have to happen, Jari, but the last time that we saw a 2-hour divergence for one of the stocks, which was actually GME, we actually saw like I put it on Patreon and an hour later or something like that, Roy and Kitty tweeted. And that's happened a few times where just a simple 2-hour divergence has led to it. So I'm just have the theory that we're going to see some news related to AMC, but maybe it's related to GME, right? And the reason that I'm saying some news for AMC could come out is because it has a signal. And signals like to, what is it? They like to prove, right? Money moves first. People put money in because insiders know more info than you, and then you'll get a piece of news that causes it to go up even more. We'll see, though, right? There could be no news at all, right? They could just be buying and selling. But I'm just saying, the last time we saw a setup kind of similar to this one on GME, we saw news. It's not on GME, it's on AMC. So I'm saying some potential news from AMC could come out like in the next day, and I would not be surprised by any means. But we know that this is kind of related to GME, so it could be news for GME as well. But that is a very speculative thing. That is very speculative. That is a guess, right? I'm just saying it's more probable when you see reversal signals because people are slowing down the momentum, meaning there's starting to be some buying pressure. Okay, wait. Okay, let's see. Hey there, Mayo Munchers. You see this? Let's see. What do you think of Lucid? We'll look at Lucid in a moment, Christine. Just give us one moment here. AA announces dilution. Yeah. Yeah, the stock finally goes back up to $6 and then he dilutes again, or $5.50. Hey, that's great though. The thing is, what could Ryan Kitty give to GME News other than more positions he bought? We need Ryan Cohen to tell us something. Ryan Cohen can only do so much. Cohen needs to do something. Yes, and I am in agreement with you on that. I would like to see more things related to the business because that will encourage institutional buying. If Roaring Kitty shows a position, it might cause like the options market to go a little nuts and things like that. And thank you so much for the $10 short Fridays, but I'm with you on that short Fridays. I would like to see good news from these companies. Like at the end of the day, I'm a stock trader. I trade companies. I want to see good news about the company. Now, someone with big money buying into a company is good news, but I want to know what that company is doing and why he sees that much value to put that amount of money behind it, if that makes sense. We'll see in a moment. Let me look at this for Christine real quick. Christine wanted to look at Lucid again. Now, Lucid, once again, is another stock that's just like screaming to the upside. The 30-minute was able to cross, and it crossed back up after getting towards the 5. So that's what we're looking for. This means positivity can be there. So when should I expect negativity? Well, whenever this 30 minutes cross down. Right? This is why I like weekly expected moves and things like that, because it gives us something to pay attention to. For Lucid, you would be looking for, hey, we took out the breakdown area, right? That's an obvious breakdown area, right? So we're taking that back. That's a good sign. And you just want to make sure the signals are still looking good throughout. I mean, look at this. If we really wanted to see a good upward move, wouldn't this be great? Look at this big ass cup. What if we get a massive handle that really shakes people out and then that turns up into positive territory? Holy crap, that'd be good, right? That would be fantastic. Now, I want you to pay attention to the fact that maybe we're making a divergence point, so I'd pay more attention to the cross down this time. I think that could lead to the 2-hour rejecting in some way. But right now, 30 minutes crossed up, so it looks okay. Yeah, Doug, I'm in that boat too. I'm in that boat too. Because Roaring Kitty back in the day, he would give dates and things like that that people could pay attention to, people could put together. And we noticed that the way that the stock was behaving, it looked like the market makers were able to fully manipulate the stock on those weeks. So like an earnings week, or if Roaring Kitty said, on this date, I am going to stream, that's where you notice like, hey, they were really prepared to fight the stock on those type of days. So I'm with you on that boat too, Doug. I trade charts, not rhetoric. Facts. And that's why we're just watching this on a 2-hour and going, hey, if that 2-hour sees a good bar, that can be a good thing for AMC. All right, let's go check on the market real quick. All right, the market looks like the SPY might want to do that double dip soon. And it might not even cross back up. Remember, we have to pay attention to if this actually confirms back to the upside. Because this can just be a flush. Looking at IWM though, it's starting to do good things. This is where IWM, I really wanted it to just get that full reaction to here and then dip down. Really wanted that. Kevin, thanks so much for subscribing. Let me make sure I answered all of Short Friday's question. Other than more positions he bought. Me, Ryan Cohen. And one thing I would say about Roaring Kitty and why him actually posting a position is different than just a tweet. That's what you don't want, I think. You don't just want some tweet. I think you want a position. I think you want some hard evidence of a big buyer in the stock. That's what I think. Right? That's the only difference I would make between that. A Roaring Kitty tweet versus Roaring Kitty actually giving a position, actually giving an assessment of the earnings. Like if he came live and talked about the earnings, that would be better than him just saying, you know, showing you a present that's slightly open this time or something. Like I just think that would be better. I want to see some hard evidence. Intel looking okay. Okay, I don't mind this for the 2-hour pullback. Okay, 2-hour pullback, maybe even hourly looks okay. Hourly looks okay here. Ooh, I would have liked that a little higher up. Let me see here. Let's just take the center of this. Okay. Like it's very kind of like rough because of all the wicks. But this could be a slanted head and shoulders, right? So I'd be looking for, oh, if this hourly goes up, it might retest, and that might look scary because you might have a divergence here. So it means if that turns down, be careful. But if that can react off or just keep going, that would be the best case for Intel. I don't mind the look. It looks like a higher low is trying to be set up here. and you're going to maybe break through this resistance and then cut through all this. I don't mind it. I like 2-hour confirmations, so I would like this to be on the 2-hour chart. We see a strong cross up here. Maybe you get a retest. Look at the weekly. Oh, not bad. So you're talking about potential for maybe even a double bottom, if you would call it that. Now it's a slightly higher up, so it still would be a higher low. So what do I want to see? Well, the daily's already done it. The daily's already curled up. So actually paying attention to that 2 hour is fine. And then I want to be aware that this could go make a strong base, right? I want to be aware this could make a strong base. Notice the last time the RSI did give you that divergence point. So if we need that again, you notice it's just flat right now. Bam, right there, very tight. So if we wanted to see a reaction, maybe go test something like here, or even test the full breakdown area and then look for that higher low again. If it's brief, then I would say divergence. To at least get it on the RSI like we did in the past, because that led to some good price action to the upside. Great flagging here. Great flagging there. Yeah, I just like to look at the shorter one time frame just to be like, okay, what's happening inside of these weekly bars? But I like the weekly. I think you're either a big reaction away from positivity, or you're a little bit stronger base away from some positive activity there. Wolf starting to move, good, because it triggered my short sale theory. Remember, I'm looking for the good signal. I gotta pull this up on my other charts. Looking for the good signal. Check 15-minute RSI chart. Does it look like inverted downtrend? For which ticker, first of all? You consider 2 hour to be full hours, like 9 to 11. For example, 9:30. It's 9:30 to 11:30, and that's why you have to pay attention to the last 2 hour bar of the day. So the only thing you need to know about 2 hours is the last bar of the day is going to be wonky. It's only going to have 30 minutes of price action in it. So if you're trading based on 2 hour charts, just you can take into consideration those last bars of the day, but if that's your confirmation bar, you might want to wait another second there. What indicators do we use? I like basic one, MACD, RSI, some moving averages. Thanks. Lucid is a competitor of Tesla. Hooray! Yeah, it's just, if you go look at Lucid sales, guys, Lucid sales are really fucking bad. They're really bad. So if you don't know this about Lucid, do you know what Lucid is technically? It is a luxury ETF, right? Or luxury ETF. It's a luxury EV. And thank you so much, Christine, for the $4. But Lucid is a luxury EV. You know what cars are struggling right now and losing the most value? Luxury, sports cars, things like that are losing value right now the fastest. I actually did some, weirdly enough, I did some car research over the weekend for fun because I'm a nerd. But those are the things losing value. So what do you think a new company coming out that already has low sales and they have an expensive EV, it's kind of rough. Now, I don't know about if they're making cheaper models and things like that. So yeah, interest rates are going to be higher too, right? Even we can tell that from the 10-year yield pretty much. Oh, I think they're beautiful, Jack Cats. Yes, I am 100% with you. I think they are so cool. I've looked at so many videos of Lucid. I think they are the coolest cars, man. But it's just, can people afford them right now, right? Have they proven themselves, right? It seems Tesla's a little bit more affordable to people than others. I have an EV roll off the factory line this week. I have an EV roll off the line this week. Awesome. We hope for good things for the company. I like their cars. I'm just saying, as far as would I buy one with where the price is at? Not necessarily. And a company with a low amount of sales, it's hard for them to do the R&D to really get ahead of a lot of people, I think. Should we really be trading today? If a setup happens, then yes. If a setup does not happen, then probably not. 30 minutes still holding here. Pfizer? And thank you again, Christine, for the $4. Really appreciate that. Mega yacht sales are down, guys. The economy's screwed. Let me look at Pfizer here real quick. Let's check on Pfizer, the company that's never cured anything. Let's go look at this. I don't like this look already. I really don't like this look. I mean, it's building and building and building. You're waiting for that snap reaction. I just don't like that there's a 2-hour divergence here, because that leads me to believe, hey, if this doesn't cross up, it can get ugly on the daily scale. So you're looking for this to cross up off of the 5. This is great. You're holding it. Great little levels in here. If we can break through here, that would be even better. So 2-hour crosses up. You can see positivity. You want to wipe out this divergence point. So you want a strong move here. If you don't get a strong move here, that could be a fake out. And if that starts to confirm, right, if we do something small like this, right, let's spread out this MACD. If we do something small like this, that's going to be a problem. But other than that, if you can take out that divergence point, you're looking good. You're trying to go positive on the daily. That's how I see it. Yeah, I didn't mind it until it looks like it wants to do something in some way. But we just gotta wait for things to confirm. The CEO used to work for Tesla. Yeah, that's why I kind of have hope for Lucid, but it's just their sales are like, you guys, they're doing like, I don't know. I think the numbers are really bad. I think they're doing like, someone maybe go look real quick, but I think it's like 20 to 70,000 units a year and dropping. Took a while to rub 2 brain cells together. Rivian, I see more of their cars out than Lucid, to be honest. At least when I lived in Georgia a year and a half ago, I saw a bunch of Rivian cars, Rivian trucks and things like that. But it's just, I think you're still at a point where I think Tesla might be top dog on the EV market for everyone. Walmart's great, but Walmart tells you a big thing. And this was pointed out. I actually watched this morning from Figuring Out Money. I think he analyzed it perfectly with the state of the consumer. And I thought that was super interesting. And it was a great thing to look at. He's like comparing Walmart to Target. Target you would see as a little bit better, like I would say, nicer products is what, he was saying as well. And then you look at Walmart, which is like the discount central of the world. And what's Walmart been doing? So are consumers most likely going to discounted things, or are they going to Target? And I thought that was a great assessment to make. So the consumer is buying things on discount is what he was reading into. And I think that was a cool take. I'd have to look into it a little bit more than that, but just a brief take on it. I think that's pretty interesting thing to come up with there. He was also comparing it to credit limits and things like that. I thought that was just super interesting. He did a great job. Saw a Lucid yesterday and they look nice. Exactly, but your second part is important. Horrible investment though. That's what I'm saying. It's just, yeah, it's just, I don't think that they're in an area where they can win right now. They need to come up with some kind of cheaper line to at least cause some sales, in my opinion. Now, if they have a short seller problem, the stock can still scream if enough people hold on to it. It's cool for the rich to look poor now, with their torn up shirts. That is something I never got a part of. I never got into why people like tear their shirts and things like that. I'm just not cool enough. All right, let's go look at the SPY guys real quick. We just got to see if these 30 minutes, let's look at the Qs too. It really looks like you want to make the double dip. And dollar's still scaling, man. Dollar's still scaling, so this does not have to be some base here. Like you still have to take into consideration the dollar is moving higher and people are really trying to take calls. So I think we're either gonna see a scare or this is gonna be real, and that will be intimidating. Well, don't let them look cool no matter how many holes they put in there. Sake for supper? That's what's up. That's what's up. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu for getting me to 10K. And yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Nice plaque too, I bet. I don't think I get a plaque. I don't think I get a plaque. I got an email that said congratulations. That's all I got, unfortunately. We got to get to 100K. That's the next goal, right? Let's get to 100K. T-shirt and Levi's. That's pretty much what I have. I bought 2 pairs of Levi's on some sale like 5 years ago, and I've had the same jeans ever since. I think I wish it was. Sid, if they ever send me, I'll go look and see if I can get a plaque, and I'll show it off to you guys. But I know you get one at 100K or something like that. I think they might have took it away. I know that they used to give it out for I think 10K and 100K. I think they might have took it away and put it to 1 million. Classic, CH. Classic. It's a classic vibe. What got you into trading? Well, what really got me serious about technical analysis, I've always been interested in the stock market since I was like 18 years old. I did little stuff in between 18 to I would say 26, but around that area, that's when I started to take technical analysis more seriously. What really helped me get into it, and it's going to seem drastic, but what happened to me was, you know, I lost my business, lost my home, lost everything, and I kind of had to not completely start over, but save up. And then I went, okay, well, the only thing going good for me right now is my trading, and all I know how to do is swing trade. So what if I got even better at it? And then I got better at it and better at it and better at it to where I could, you know, actually read into things, make my own strategies, and did all that by myself. So you can, you know, imagine some very lonely days. I think I looked at charts for probably for a full year. I was looking at charts for around 10 to 14 hours a day, every single day. So it's kind of that 1,000 hours. Once you have 1,000 hours behind something, you can be pretty damn good at it, right? It's like the 1,000 hours master or whatever. And I'd say I'm getting pretty close now. Volume's abysmal today. Can you check out the RSI on the SPY 15-minute? Okay, that's what I was looking for. Sorry about that, Doug. I know you asked for a 15-minute. I just wanted to make sure it was on the SPY. So for the 15-minute for the SPY, you're seeing some real big confusion right now. 10,000 hours. That's it, Devin. So I don't have 10,000 hours yet. Maybe in 10 years I'll have that, right? Times 10 what I got right now. But yeah, that was something that made me take it very seriously. It was COVID ruining my business back in the day. That literally made me take it seriously. And then I just started to enjoy it. And I love looking at, I like math and all those kinds of things. Do you like weekly option trades? I take 2. I mean, I'll hold them for like a week. Like it technically, usually it is within a week that I'm buying and selling, but I always give myself more time by buying the 2-week out option. Always. Always. Yeah. Yeah, and I've told this before about my technical analysis. What really got me into it was all those bad things led me to a very, very dark place, and technical analysis was the only thing I had. And so if I didn't have that to learn, I probably wouldn't be here today. So that's why I take this very seriously, and that's why, you know, I made this channel just to help other people, because, you know, technical analysis helped me way more than you think. Now giving it back? Well, then try to see what you did when you were successful, and then also take into consideration what made you lose. You know what I'm saying, Ricks? Yeah, once you start to really be accountable, and it's a very difficult thing to be accountable to yourself, but looking at a 15-minute here, hold on, let me answer Doug's question, and we'll see. Lucas, excuse me, can you check the RSI on the SPY 15-minute? I'm still wondering if is an inverse head and shoulders pattern when you get the chance. Inverse head and shoulders. I think the inverse head and shoulders would pop up here. I think if we get this, then you're going to see that. That would be the inverse I'm looking for on the 15-minute. That's what I'm looking for. That would be fantastic structure to head higher. So that I know is pretty quick, but that's how I see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's where you want to see that form, is up towards 595, which is your call wall. 595 is one of the call walls. And David Simon coming out saying, stop then. And that isn't something that you need to take into consideration. If your accountability to yourself leads you into, hey, I'm not good at this, you should take that into consideration. But it sounds like you were able to be successful in some way. So you have to be accountable with your trading, and you will become a better trader. Don't blame other people. You are the one pushing the buttons. You're making the decisions. Look when you were successful, what decisions did you make? Look when you weren't successful, and be honest about yourself with the decisions you made, and look how it went wrong. That is the only way you can get better, is to be like, I suck at this. Why do I suck at this? Let me not do that. I'm good at this timing, this stuff. Okay, what did I do differently here than over here? Okay, that's what I need to do more. Investing with little time, pull up a monthly chart, H. Pull up a monthly chart. If I zoom out to a monthly chart, weekly chart and monthly charts, you can still take the course down in the description. It will give you an edge, because right here, you got a weekly divergence right here. And if you just pay attention to weekly and monthly charts, you can be very confident, and you can just check on stocks, maybe even just like once every 2 weeks, and just say, okay, that curled up. Awesome. I make a decision. Does it ever curl back down? Kind of treat it like a monthly swing trade. And if you just do that with the indices, you're relatively safe. You can always do it with something else, but I like to say even the Qs would be good. Something that I like is Nail Home Builders. When that crosses up on a monthly, you usually have 12 to 24 months where that looks good, right? So that would get you in at 54, ends up going to 125. Then we break down below that 20, and like at that point, you should be paying attention to weekly divergences. But if you're just talking about the SPY, right, and you just want to, stay away from moments like this, well, this crossed down on a monthly, so bad things. This crossed up on a monthly, so it led to a pullback into good things. So that's how I would do it. Keep it very, very simple with investing, and you'll be way better off. No, I'm blaming all my bad decisions on you. Hey, that's fine, Willow. If you need to beat me up, that's fine. You're like, I am blaming all of my bad decisions on you. That statement makes no sense. Even the drinking. Yeah, I hope you guys have fun tonight. Make sure to go have some fun. Me and my wife have already planned up something fun. We're gonna have some fun tonight. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, just to make you guys aware, I only have about 20 minutes left. My wife has a dentist appointment this morning. Okay, so you have 20 minutes left, all right? And then on Friday, we're gonna do a longer stream, all right? So Friday, I've already set aside some time. The good part is I have like pretty much a lot of holidays. I get a lot of off time during this point, so where I can take a day and just spend it with you guys. So I can do a longer stream on Friday. Yeah, and the other way to look at it too, on the monthly or even weekly scale, another way to look at investing is this, right? They say time in the market is better than timing the market. Okay, well, why not do a little bit of both, right? I could have bought here, and then I could save, see that cross down. I don't have to sell if I think that this is still a bullish market. We're still way up into positive territory. Then I could just hold through all this. Then I see it cross up again. I could add all that money I saved throughout this to here, and then watch that grow. And then we could say, okay, now we're seeing divergences and stuff like that pop up. So that's something you can do as well, right? If you don't want to sell ever, because I know taxes and things like that. My weakness is patience. I'm going to get better. This is something that slow is fast. Exactly. It's slow is fast. And what you can do to really slow it down, guys, if you need to slow it down, we're looking at 30-minute charts right now. Look at 2-hour charts instead. Slow it down. It will get easier if you don't do a 5-minute chart. You do a 2-hour chart. If that crosses up, you can say, okay, I'm going to go long for a certain period of time, whatever you decide, right? And then you see that continue to go up. Maybe you see a 30-minute divergence right here, and you go, okay, I'm going to get out there, and then it curls down and it curls back up, and then you go, okay, there's 2-hour divergence, right? We can really do things better by saying, hey, I'm not good at reacting quickly. Okay, then slow it down. Bears were trapped. Initially, you would say, you know, a spike like this will automatically ruin your put options, right? That'll ruin your put options. But we're seeing a lot of calls right now, so I think it makes sense. I think they're still trying to get people a little more bearish or reduce positions some. Yeah, there's multiple ways to do it. I just like weekly divergences for investing, monthly charts for investing. Who asked about investing? I just want to make sure you got a decent answer there. Yeah, you got to be paying attention to this next bar. This is why I'm bummed out I have to hop off, but going to the dentist is very important. Even though I never go to the dentist. I'm being a hypocrite right now. And my family, part of my family, my mom's side, owns a dentistry here. That was great, thanks. Okay, H, yeah. If you can spread things out. H, I'm going to tell you right now, though. The course in the description will still help you. It's on a major sale. You don't have to grab it. You can stick around here and try to learn some things. That's fine. But if you want it cut and dry, if you want to learn about weekly divergences, and the reason for that is weekly divergence turns up monthly charts. So right here, you have a weekly divergence. What that does is it'll allow you to get in here or here instead of all the way up here, right? And then you just have to have confidence. Right, weekly divergence right here, confirmed right here. It went up. Notice it goes through the pullback. So this is an investment. You have to understand that. But this gets you in at around 400. The monthly potentially would have got you in at the top of this bar right here. You could have taken any of these and been pretty confident, but the actual real confirmation was 458. So you bought another over 10% there. Yeah, so weekly divergence can help you out. And then you would more so be paying attention to, say, monthly expected moves and things like that. Or if you can even make quarterly and annual expected moves, right? Can I pay with Pop-Tarts? If I loved Pop-Tarts, I'd allow it. I used to eat Pop-Tarts all the time as a kid. But not no mo. You can pay in brownie mix and homemade cookies. That'd be sick. I'd be down. QQQ looks like it wants to roll over. Let's go check on that guy real quick. Looks like it does. Now we're still paying attention. We're just watching. If this absolutely flushes and we don't see divergence, toaster strudels. Toaster strudel was pretty. I was a kid. I think I was a kid. I'm 32, but I was a kid, I think, when toaster strudel came out, and we lost our minds. Anyone remember being like kind of young and having toaster strudel come out, seeing those commercials and stuff? Just begging your parents, like, I want to try toaster strudel. I think I was like 11 or 12. The icing packets, exactly. You get that like cherry toaster strudel or raspberry toaster strudel. Oh my gosh, it was probably terrible for us. We feed kids like the worst things, guys, sometimes. So I like my wife. She's very dedicated to like making everything healthy and homemade for our daughter right now. We'll see if that sticks, you know. We'll see if that sticks for a long period of time. She's done it for a full year now, so. You're right, IWM rejecting hard, okay. There you go. There's your rejection from your 222.60. Now, is it an actual like firm rejection at this point? Looks like a 1, 2, 3 on a 15. We'll see if the 15 is really positive. 15 at a reading of 0.25, so not extremely positive. And the last time it was even in an area that was better at 0.83 at the top. That wasn't necessarily a good thing. So what you're looking for here now is the divergence down for the 30-minute or a higher low. A series of higher lows would be a good thing. But this is where I really want to make that shoulder, that right shoulder, just brief right shoulder would be beautiful for IWM. Toys and tattoo stickers in them. I know, Harold, so cool. Our food preserves us for the afterlife. Yeah, we're in full preservation mode. I actually just watched that Alice in Borderlands, and I thought that was a very interesting show. It was crazy. You were talking about preservation. We just watched the finale or whatever, so it kind of went into that a little bit of like how humans have developed over 1,000 years now, past where they're at. All right, let's see if we have any questions out there. Father of 3, that gets old quick. Hey, she doesn't have to work. I pay all the bills, so she better make healthy things. She better make healthy things, you know. But is it healthy with our food we have right now? That's a good question. Triga's bringing up what I'm thinking right now. Like, we've noticed that, you know, stuff from certain stores tastes a little funny, right? Meat from certain stores, we've had to like go to different stores for meat because sometimes the meat tastes a little too funny to us. Maybe it's a mental thing. Reddish year, I'm kind of with you on 2025, but remember guys, also this can play out in a million different ways. Don't think that this has to be a top even in January, but it can be. That's the point. We're paying attention to signals in January, March, and October. I'll only get it. Yeah, one year we bought half a cow from my brother's ex-wife. We brought her dad, a farmer, and we bought like half a cow, and that was really good. That was dope. I just don't have a deep freeze now. I like the concept, Jeffrey. Yeah, that's how I was thinking. I think it was cool. I thought the ending was interesting. I won't give it away. Let food be your medicine, or medicine will be your food. Ooh, I like that, Christine. That's nice. Hit that like, says the blind owl, because he can't hit it. He's blind. He doesn't know where it is. Spy dump. Dumpy trucky. All right, cool. I've got like 5 more minutes, so I'll say what I think is important here, and that's, do we create the strong base here? Now, one thing to take into consideration that sometimes does happen, because this is behaving a lot like a bear market down here, just volatility is higher. That's really what it is. It's just you're going to see this a lot in a bear market. If we wipe out the divergence, but then we see this come back and you see some kind of V shape or something, just still be paying attention to this, right? The 2 hour is the ultimate goal here. The 30-minute is to assess, hey, is that very probable to happen? The 2 hour is to suggest that that is actually going to be the uptrend. Oh, that's kind of sick, T-Maker. That's dope. I suck at emoji. I knew to not trade this day. I'm down. Yeah, that's why I just don't day trade. It's too stressful for me. And like, I analyze too much to day trade, in my opinion. I convince myself out of plays too early. I convince myself into plays too early. I can convince myself out of plays too late. That's day trading for me. So if I slow it down to a 30-minute and a 2 hour and take some positions, I like it a lot better. That's a conversation I had to have with myself. Sitting on my bed one night, just like, let's really think about myself for a second. What do I suck at? Okay, day trading. Maybe I just shouldn't do that anymore. What am I good at? Well, I'm better when I take a position play. Okay, awesome, I'm gonna do that. I'm better when I swing trade. Okay, awesome, I'm gonna do that. That's all I had to do. A REIT trading trades the 1 minute? That's psycho. That takes a lot of skill if he's good at it. Is 2 hours more important than 30 minutes to follow the action of the stock? Yes. The way that you pay attention to that, now it doesn't mean it's always true, right? Nothing's always true in the market, but a 2 hour has more momentum in it than a 30-minute bar, right? So if a 2 hour has more price action happening in it, then it's probably a little bit more important. Check the charts and hope. 1 second here. Yeah, because the ultimate goal here is, yeah, if a divergence shows up, awesome. If not, does it still buy back up? If it doesn't, then you're dropping fast. And then maybe we want to look for the bottom of the channel. Yeah, the dollar is what's really interesting today. Look at that thing. So this does not have to be some kind of bottom right now, right? We're still waiting for that 2 hour signal. Has the 2 hour signal confirmed? Let's see. Nope. But the dollar, this is important. This is important. We're going to show it off again at the end of this video because it's super important. Look at the monthly. This is the signal that has led to a lot of market tops. Now, does that mean it has to top at this exact moment? Or could we see some kind of maybe trap before it tops? Which you're already kind of in a bunch of traps. I'm saying a trap to the upside as it tops, right? The dollar has bottomed very thoroughly. Now we know we need to pay attention to January. And if we go like this and we see a 2-hour divergence at a monthly expected move or something like that, that's where you're going to run into big problems. That's where I will most likely start to look at volatility plays a little bit heavier. So yeah, Mark, the monthly is the main thing, and you're seeing we wanted the daily to be able to confirm down. We're still looking for that, but as that monthly could confirm today, that's the ultimate signal, and that tells me be very cautious in the month of January. Pretty much you need to be cautious in the whole first quarter now if this is going to confirm like that, because that's a strong confirmation. What I'm looking for that to reverse back down is a 4-hour divergence. So if that 4-hour can rotate back down. Not all the time, Christine. It more depends on the reasoning, but you could say that insiders are selling with this type of move from the dollar. You could say that, and you can pull up the chart of the household income, households in the stock market. It's the highest it's ever been. So you have individual Americans the most in stocks they've ever been in history, while the dollar is climbing, suggesting that insiders are selling. Then you can go check on SEC filings and go look at a popular stock like Nvidia and just see, oh, insiders have been selling for a long time. The truth is, insiders have been selling ever since 2021. And they're still, a lot of them are still out. Very scary stuff. But, there could be a lot of reasons that the dollar is moving up, but that's just something simple that I hold for myself. Hey, every single time this has happened, we've seen a market top. Now we're seeing it happen. So are we, that means it doesn't have to happen this time, right? But I'm going to take this very seriously and hope that it's, I'm not going to invest at these levels when I have a potential for one of these red lines to pop up and then this goes like through the roof. So yeah, hopefully that was a decent assessment of the dollar there. And it is now 10:10, so I do have to hop off, guys. So I do appreciate you guys being here. I'm sorry that I have to do this today. I really want to stay on with you guys because I think we're going to see this type of stuff over the next few hours. And that's why we're just really maintaining the fact that, hey, we can make this as a base. We cannot make this as a base. The ultimate signal that you're waiting for, and why I'm going to leave you on a 2-hour chart, is because if that 2-hour chart, I don't care about the 30-minute at the end of the day. I mean, I do if it gives me a better position, but the ultimate signal is going to be, does the 2-hour hold the divergence here? Does it hold it here? And does it cross up? That's what I'm looking for from the SPY, from the Qs. IWM and DIA, I think, is more on hourly charts. So I'm going to leave you guys on this. If you guys want to learn or anything like that throughout the day today or going into the new year as you have a day off, hey, we got that course down in the description. The New Year, New Me sale is right there. So links down in the description. It's a great time to join the Patreon as well if you just want to give that a try for $7. But take care, guys. Take care right back at you. Be safe. I like it. Thank you guys so much for joining today. Really do appreciate it. Thank you again for getting us to 10K. And let's just do this going into the new year. Let's use tomorrow for at least an hour. I want you to go back and maybe look at some of the trades you took. Just highlight them. See like 2 or 3 trades that went right, very right. See 2 or 3 trades that went very wrong. And then do some analysis on them. Really see, what decisions did you make that made it not good? What decisions did you make that made it very, very good, right? And then write those things down. Really write them down and read them back to yourself. Read it out loud. Really talk to yourself about it, because you can fix a lot by just be willing to be like, hey, I know that this is going to be embarrassing for myself to read out to myself, to point out my own mistakes, but it will help you a lot as a trader to do that, and it will advance your strategy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you guys nothing but luck with the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. The YouTube video will be coming out tomorrow morning. Just so you are aware, the YouTube video tomorrow morning, and we will be doing a longer stream on Friday. So peace out, Girl Scouts.